Originally from Denver, Colorado, this American gentleman is a vocalist and multi-instrumentalist, composer, and arranger. He has been a vocal director for many concerts and has performed on stage with Thai superstar Bert Thongchai McIntyre and many others. He is also a lecturer. His name is Julian Cary. His most important discovery is that the most effective way to teach any form of music is to reflect its cultural background or origins.
So the roots of jazz are in African music, like really ancient Western African music, and that tradition is an oral tradition. So a lot of it is call and response. It's different than classical music in the sense that it's not all written down. So I focus a lot on listening, trying to help my students build and develop a good practice routine, a good listening diet as well. Because, I mean, everyone says it all the time that like music is like a language and learning jazz is like learning a language, but it's true. You know, if you want to understand the accent and the tradition of it, you have to spend a lot of time listening.
Julian mentioned that to excel as a jazz singer is crucial to embrace individualism and be true to oneself. We asked him to analyze Thai students who sometimes struggle to balance collectivism and individualism, occasionally taking things to extremes. He suggested that to solve the problem of a lack of individualism is to respect the stories that everyone has to tell.
I think that everyone, if you let them speak long enough and if you listen to them, they will reveal themselves. So really, no, just because we all dress the same doesn't mean that we're the same, right? You know, if you have to wear your uniform, that doesn't make you the same as everyone else. It's your ideas, it's your experience that makes you different. Even if you're born in the same country, right? Just having the same uniform or having to sing the same songs or walk in the same way, that doesn't erase who you are. There's no need to go so completely extreme. Because one thing I think about that extremeness is it's not completely authentic for everyone. For some people, maybe yes, but most of the time I don't think it's that authentic.
At 21, just before completing his studies at the University of Northern Colorado, he got a job offer to teach jazz voice at Silpakorn University. That was the beginning of his life journey in Thailand. 4 years have passed, and now he lives in his lovely, peaceful, and tranquil oasis in Bangkok. For him, Bangkok is just like any other big city, where there is a mixture of the good and the bad.
I think wherever you go, people are just gonna still be people, especially if you live in a big city. You know, Denver started to get really big while I was home, and Denver and Bangkok I really don't think are that much different. In big cities, most people have the same mindset. You know, like they don't really involve themselves with each other the way that you would in a small town. You know, a lot of people are like, they're kind of focused on themselves about going forward and, you know, don't bother me and I won't bother you. I get enough of the Bangkok bustle if I have to go and do work, and I don't hate that at all. It's just, I don't want that all the time, you know. So I don't think that this is a perfect place at all. I think there's a dark side to every place. And I think the dark side of Thailand is really obvious. You know, you'd have to fool yourself to not see it.
By teaching himself the local language and surrounding himself with friends and students, Julian can communicate in Thai at a near-native level. He revealed that the biggest culture shock for him when he first arrived in Thailand was the people's relationship with the truth. In other words, many Thai people do not respect the truth very much. This phenomenon can be seen everywhere in Thai society, especially in politics.
Like love and trust, they're very different. I think in order to keep the peace, in order to make sure that things aren't awkward for a moment, a lot of Thai people really avoid telling the truth about, you know, someone else's actions, right? So a lot of people will have that friend who just does really bad, inexcusable things, right? But no one ever tells them that they're wrong. You know, because that's my friend, right? Because that's my elder, because that's my senior. So some people, maybe if they don't think about the mistakes they make, honestly, then they go through their life thinking that they're right all the time, or that they're doing good, correct things all the time. Or maybe they know they're wrong, but they know that no one will tell them.
Julian is a keen observer who sees and speaks the truth about what is happening around him. Yet, another crucial aspect he has pointed out is just another sad truth about Thailand.
That's another thing that shocked me is like, I think there's not a lot of Thai pride in the culture. You know, it's like everybody is rushing to be American, everyone's rushing to be Korean in both beauty and art and all of these things. But Thailand has such beautiful, rich culture. And I find that the deeper people dig into what makes them Thai, the cooler their art comes out, or the cooler their individuality comes out. I mean, of course, if you want to talk about all the negative, toxic aspects of being Thai, like you could only talk about that, just the way that you could talk about that for Americans or Europeans in different countries. But there's so much really beautiful, cool stuff. You know, I think in certain appropriate moments, Thai people are really good at taking care of each other in certain moments. Yeah, I think that's a big one.